In 1986, America didn't need another hard-boiled detective with a gun and a grudge. What it needed, what it craved, was a man in a tweed jacket, sipping sweet tea on a rocking chair, asking one quiet question that unraveled an entire lie. That man was Ben Matlock, and the man who brought him to life? Andy Griffith, the same sheriff, Andy Taylor, who once kept Mayberry safe with patience. And a smile, now stepping into a courtroom, not with fury, but with grace. Matlock, which debuted on NBC on March 3, 1986, wasn't just a legal drama, it was a quiet revolution. Created by Dean Hargrove, the same mind behind the original, Perry Mason, the show borrowed the structure of classic courtroom thrillers, the innocent accused, the hidden motive, the shocking reveal. But where Perry Mason shouted, Matlock smiled. Where Mason thundered in the courtroom, Matlock leaned back, blinked slowly, and said, "You know, I think you're lying." And then the room went silent, because when Andy Griffith spoke, you didn't just hear words, you heard wisdom. He didn't need flashy forensic evidence. He didn't need a team of investigators. He had a notepad, a sharp mind, and an uncanny ability to notice what no one else did, the way a witness S. hands trembled when she mentioned her husband S. alibi, the way a witness's shoe was scuffed on the left side, even though she claimed she'd been standing still all night, the way a widow kept glancing at a photo, not of her dead husband, but of the man who stood beside him. Matlock didn't prove innocence in a pretrial hearing. He proved it in front of a jury, with a calm voice, a gentle tone, and the quiet power of truth delivered like a perfectly timed punchline. And he did it all while wearing cardigans, sipping iced tea, and occasionally offering a suspect a piece of pie. The show ran for 9 seasons, 6 on NBC, 3 on ABC, a rare feat for a legal drama that never chased youth, never chased trends, never tried to be edgy. It was old-fashioned, deliberately so. And in a 1980s television landscape dominated by shoulder pads and melodrama, Matlock stood still and became timeless. Andy Griffith didn't just play a lawyer, he played a grandfather who'd seen too much to be fooled, but still believed in redemption. He played a man who knew that justice wasn't about winning, it was about revealing, about making the guilty confess, not because they were cornered, but because they were finally seen. When the show moved to ABC in 1992, many assumed it was fading. But audiences didn't abandon it. They followed it, because they didn't watch Matlock for the twists. They watched it for the truth. And when the final episode aired on May 7, 1995, after nearly a decade of quiet courtroom triumphs, it didn't end with a bang. It ended with a sigh, a rocking chair, a half-empty glass of tea, and the lingering echo of a voice that said, "You can lie to the jury, but you can't lie to the truth." For nearly 30 years, that voice stayed silent, until 2024, when Kathy Bates stepped into Ben Matlock's shoes, not to replace him, but to honor him. The reboot didn't just revive a show, it revived a philosophy, that justice doesn't need to be loud, that wisdom doesn't need to be young, that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is sit down, take a sip, and ask the right question. Andy Griffith didn't just play Ben Matlock, he gave us a new kind of hero, one who didn't fight with fists, but with silence, with patience.